Pack Church. So Cameron and Sandra have done an awesome job starting up this idea of having a devotional every night, and Pastor Ray did an awesome one the other night, and I'm just going to try and continue with the flow and hopefully bless you guys with a great word from God. I want to talk about a really powerful verse that God's really shared with me recently, and I want to preface that by saying we live in a fallen world. That's just the world we live in. There are going to be natural disasters. There are going to be crime sprees. There's going to be viruses and plagues. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but because we live in a fallen world, that's what we're going to experience. And so 2 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 14 has really spoken to me, and because we live in a fallen world, that's why God has placed us in this world, to be the light, to be the hope, and to be a voice of intercession and intervening. And so that's where this verse really stands out to me. And it's 2 Chronicles 7:14. It says this, "Then if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, pray and seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven, I will forgive their sins, and I will restore their land." God is in the redemption business. God is always redeeming bad situations for good. And if you look around the world around us, you would consider it a bad situation. Things do not look good right now in the natural world. But I love throughout all of history, there are so many moments that have a but God moment, if you will. A moment where God intervenes, whether it's through a biblical history or throughout, natural history outside of what's logged in the Bible. But the Bible has 31 different but God moments, and I love every single one of them. There are moments where it looks like the world is headed for disaster. It looks like there's situational chaos. It looks like there's just doom and gloom, but God intervenes. And so in these different moments throughout history, God steps in, and it's because of the cries of humanity. It's because of the cries of his children crying out to him. And God is looking for people who would cry out to him. And a couple examples in the Bible, a great one is when Paul is preaching to a crowd, and he's telling them about Jesus, telling them who Jesus is. And he says, Jesus died. And then he says, but God resurrected him. That's one of the greatest but God moments in the Bible. And another one of my favorites is in Acts chapter 12. Peter he's imprisoned. He's basically on death row. He's basically about to be killed. And the church, it comes together and it prays. And I love the way it says it in Acts chapter 12, verse 5. It says, while Peter was in prison, the church prayed very earnestly for him. We're not talking just regular prayers. We're talking about, this group of people, this church, they prayed, they fasted probably, they worshiped, they cried out to God very earnestly. All right, they were relentless in their prayers towards this. And that's what God is looking for in this moment. There is a but God moment, and because that church prayed very earnestly, God intervened, and an angel from heaven came down and plucked Peter out of a prison in the middle of the night and put him in front of the church, put him with the church body. And that is amazing. That is the but God moment that happened. And we are in a situation where things look very gloom and doom. Things don't look very good, but for God. And there are no interventions that can happen in this moment except for God. And so that's what we're believing for. And that's what the church body around the world is coming together to do, is to pray and fast and to seek out God and what he wants to do. And maybe you feel like Peter right now, and you feel imprisoned within a quarantine of some kind. Maybe you feel like you're on death's row just like Peter because of this virus or whatever it may be. I want to tell you that the truth is greater than the facts. We can get so caught up in the facts of this many people are sick or this many people have died. But you know what? Truth trumps fact every day, all day. And God is truth. And I stand on the truth of Psalm 46, of Psalm 91, and many other promises of God in the Bible towards my life and the prophetic words that are spoken over my life. And I know that my time is not done here, so I'm not going to stand in fear. And I want to encourage you to believe in the truth over the facts, and know that we are about on the premise of a but God moment. And I believe April is going to be such a powerful month. We have Easter in the month of April, and let's believe God that there's going to be wisdom imparted into scientists for a cure. Let's believe and pray for medical breakthrough. Let's be the spirit-filled believers that we are, and let's intercede and intervene for the church body, with the church body, and believe God for a miracle. There will be a but God moment. I want to thank you guys for being a part of this. Bless you guys, love you, and we miss you, and we'll see you soon.